There have been two main villains so far in Kagurabachi, with them being Kiyori Sazanami and Genchi Sojo, who have had large impacts on the story so far. However, there is one group that has been set up since the first chapter as being the final arc bosses, for Chihiro and maybe even the Kabunabi. This person, or group, being the Hishaku. The Hishaku have had a major impact on the story since they pretty much started it. They were the ones who killed Kunishigi, the main character's father, and stole the 6 enchanted blades. Also, they were the ones who gave Sojo Cloud Gouger in the first place, and gave Kiyori the Shinichi to be sold at the auction. We've seen several members so far, including their leader, with only 2 being named. We also saw their leader in action with him fighting Chihiro, seemingly without using sorcery, but the powers we have seen displayed by him and other Hishaku members is seemingly the controlling of roots and teleportation by cloaking themselves in flame. Also, during John's fight with Chihiro, he gets his arm cut off during the fight, and is seemingly able to reattach it a few moments later. But we still have a very limited understanding of how they work, and why the leader wants control of the Shinichi, besides just for the purpose of power. So far, we've seen 3 members with the tattoo or symbol on their hands, with 2 of them sharing the mark on the same hand. However, Hishaku, the man we see in the first chapter of the series, seemingly has the mark on a different hand than the other members. At first, you could think that means he's a lower rank than the others, but an interesting thing about him is that he seemed to have the same sorcery as John Hishaku, with him trapping a low-ranking bandit or sorcerer in roots, and then disappearing with flames shortly after. And although we haven't seen Hirohiko fight, he seems to have control over glass, with it hovering around him when he's about to fight Chihiro. So this could mean that it's not only the marking, but your sorcery that sets your place in the Hishaku, since Hirohiko only moves to attack the sword bearer when another Hishaku member named Yura allows him to. So maybe he's a higher rank than Hishaku, but not part of the same division. There could be like a combat division led by Hirohiko, and then a political or social division whose job is to negotiate or work with lesser organizations. So that could explain why Hirohiko potentially has a more combat-focused sorcery rather than the traditional roots and flames we've seen before. Or alternatively, you could just be allowed to have the symbol wherever you want on your body and the hand thing doesn't really matter, which could lead to a very interesting reveal, like if a Kabunabi member is actually part of the Hishaku. And a theory I personally subscribe to is that Hiyuki is a former member of the Hishaku, which could lead to a very interesting arc with Chihiro due to his tragic past with them. And I'd really like it if Kaizane was a traitor, so Chihiro could like kill him, preferably slowly and brutally and not off screen.
I'd also like to bring forth a personal theory about the Hishaku. I think that the way John Hishaku is able to use 3 types of sorcery, being the roots, the flames, and reattaching parts of his body, is that he made his own body into an enchanted blade. Like how an enchanted blade has 3 separate abilities, he has 3 separate sorceries. That would also explain why he wants the Shinichi in particular, because it is the strongest blade, but also because I believe it's the only blade strong enough to help keep his body in a harmony, and prevent him from blowing up like other people who have used Dentensigi for temporary power boosts. Like, if in his past he was a really big fan of Kunishigi's work, and wanted to create some sort of power that could be the equivalent to it, but it ended up backfiring and making himself in this like permanent state of his body being constantly trying to pull itself apart. And he could have like affected the other members of the Hishaku with this ability as well, which explains why Hishaku has the same abilities as him. Since he's not able to create like multiple swords with multiple styles, he can only put like these 3 abilities in one person's body. Well, I think that's everything that's safe to assume for the time being, but I'll make sure to drop a chapter review this Sunday when the next chapter comes out, to see if anything I said was confirmed or denied. I'm also happy to say that today's community shoutout goes to Cree Mason. I had a lot of fun reading all the comments under your Shiba vs. Sojo post and watching everyone start going for each other's throats after like 2 minutes. Well, that's all for this video. If you guys liked it, consider subscribing, because I'm trying to hit 10 subscribers by the end of this month. So, see you guys next time.